This is the video overview of Chapter 1. Note that this video overview is to give you an idea of what will be covered and what you should focus on in Chapter 1. It should not replace reading the chapter for important details or completing any activity. Chapter 1 focuses on building a personal financial plan. It is important to understand how social and economic influences affect your plan. Where do you want to be in 1 year, 5 years, or 2 years, or 10 years? You have to get a handle in time value of money and how to calculate. In this chapter, time value of money is referred to as TVM. It is where you figure out how much you need to save to reach your goals, how much house you can afford, and how much monthly payment you can afford. In the remaining chapters, you'll learn how to implement the plan considering such things as career choices, investment, and insurance. The financial planning process is a cycle. A never-ending cycle. You have to continue to assess where you are, where you want to be, and how you'll get there. You'll need to develop financial goals and perhaps some non-monetary goals along with financial plans that will impact your future. Goals need to have certain characteristics to be of value. General goals like I'm going to start saving money or I'm going to start paying off my savings account do not meet the criteria for goals. Using the acronym SMART helps to remember what the criteria for good goals will be: specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, and time-based. I'm going to say $50 a month is a specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, and time-based goal. Short-term goals are less than 2 years. Intermediate-term goals are 2 to 5 years, or long-term goals are over 5 years. Keep in mind, they may not all be monetary. You may need some non-monetary goals, such as completing college or getting a certification in order to meet your financial goals. Use the worksheet at the end of Chapter 1 to set your goals. You see a similar one to the right there. Just set short-term and intermediate goals. You'll use this for one of your assignments. I'm not going to ask you to share anything personal with me, although it is important as we go through the chapters that you think about your own situation. Use time value of money calculations to determine if you are saving enough each month. Time value uses 5 variables: N for number of periods, I over Y, or I for interest rate per period, Y being year, PV for starting money in the account, equal deposit, how much money you put in each period, and FV, your future value, how much money in the future. And of course, your annuity equals your deposit. If you know 4 of these variables, then you can calculate the 5th one. To calculate future value, use a spreadsheet. Since that's what you will be using when you get on the job, more than likely, it's a good idea to learn how to do things in the spreadsheet. So I'm going to click in cell C1, and I'm going to start the function formula by clicking FX up here on the formula bar. It is one of the most recently used for me, although I could search for it just by typing FV if I needed to. Click OK to bring up the function or arguments box. I could type in the rate of 2% or 0.02, but it's best to click on it if you have it in a spreadsheet so that you don't make as many errors. NPER is how many times per year And we're going to do once per year for 5 years. So we clicked on B2. The payment I'm going to make, I'm going to save $1,800 a year. My PV is 0. I start out with 0, in other words, my present value, but I could click the 0 or the B4 in here, or you don't have to put anything when it's 0. And then click OK. It does give you a preliminary calculation here, so you can get an idea before you click OK if it's fairly accurate. And when you think about it, 1,800 times 5 this is fairly accurate. And click OK. And so my future value, if I put in $1,800 every year for 5 years at 2%, my future value would be $9,367.27. So if you have set a goal that you want to save, let's say $10,000 for a down payment for a house over the next 5 years, this is how you would calculate how much you need to put in each month or each year. So in closing, in this chapter, you're going to cover 2 important steps of the financial planning process: determining your current financial situation, and secondly, to develop financial goals. Please be sure that you read the chapter thoroughly to get all of the details of anything that you'll need to know to do the activities in this chapter. End of this video.